Welcome to Pinball Mayhem. Quick update on Silent Scope. I took the pipe clamp off that went from this corner down to the end, just because it was walking around was pretty heavy duty, and I ended up Gorilla Gluing this together. I just used my saw just to take the bulk off that foamed out. The stuff foams. What I did here, because it was cracked and I'm like, I couldn't get a lot of glue in it, I decided to drill a 1/2-inch hole and put a 1/2-inch dowel in. Glued that with Gorilla Glue, made sure I got plenty inside because I wanted to kind of attach on the inside here because I have a feeling that this joint is weakened, and I'm trying to make it as strong as possible. So the dowel's going to give me some fresh wood, more surface area, and get some glue up in there. And then I hammered it in and let it dry before I cut it off just recently. Just cut it. I'm going to see how this holds up. It's experimental for me. But it should be better than no glue in the middle because I was only able to work it down so far, and this, I'm assuming, tore both pieces all the way through. So this is kind of my trick for strength. If this doesn't work, then I'm probably going to have to re-glue it and possibly put a metal plate across the bottom of this side, and I'll do the other side as well. A nice 1/4-inch steel, but I'm trying to avoid that, add bulkiness to it. I want to play the game. So that's what I did on this. I did glue down this corner as well. But the base should be ready just to be sanded a little bit and then flipped up. I can paint this later. And the back box, I ended up realizing the left side was a little bit loose. These clamps are holding the back panel in, and I used the pieces of wood that are gonna go onto the this piece on the bottom that attached the two together as just clamping boards. So I clamped these in with some Gorilla Glue as well yesterday. So that's gonna give a strong spot for the door to attach to. Now the reason why these both ripped off, the door that somebody had found, they just scabbed a piece of board on, and this door is supposed to be 1/2-inch thick. That was 3/4. So by having it behind here, and there was a, let me pull this clamp out of the way. You can see here, it overlaps. So the board was literally pushing the bottom board out and this in. So every time someone jammed the back door on, they were destroying it even more. Answer is I got to make a new door out of 1/2-inch plywood, probably MDF, and I have to add a rabbet for it to fit in this groove. Shouldn't be too hard, and the top does not need to be rabbeted. It just needs, this will keep it from kicking out, so you can't break into the cabinet. But I should be able to start removing these clamps. Now this was a big chunk was missing here. But I ended up gluing it the best I could. This seems pretty strong. I ended up putting the pipe clamp on the bottom to keep the cabinet from spreading too much. Now this game is not a, this side got a little bit stronger, just a little bit of sanding. This is not a full restoration. As I said, this is a repair. I want to get it better, best I can, without rebuilding the whole cabinet. So I'm not going to go through and start repainting a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to go through and start filling in broken corners, because that stuff's going to happen when it gets moved on. This is just to make it repaired, make it strong, make it last a little bit longer, and work to the best of its ability. Work like new, look as good as I can make it without rebuilding the whole thing. So that's where the status is now. My next step, I'm going to remove the rest of the clamps. I'm going to take this gun base. I got to flip it on end. There's some repair work I noticed I have to do on this. And then I'm going to put those boards on to attach them. Now, originally, I think these are wood screws, just with a big washer. I checked, a 1/2-inch bolt fits through there. So I'm going to do a T-nut on it. So my next step would be attach those wood to that cabinet. I'm going to push them together, put some clamps on them that I already got, and I'm going to drill this out, and I'm going to put T-bolts in so that it is field removable, but it's also going to be a lot stronger than a wood screw. You take it in and out a few times, it breaks. The other thing I got to decide is right here, there's a piece missing. I'm going to figure out the structure, the point of that. I believe it was to keep this top from bowing down. I think it was broken in moving and just mishandling. So right now I'm going to leave that out. I can always split it and put it in later. I don't have much of it left, unfortunately. But first, get this together. Hopefully be able to bolt front and back together and be able to start wiring it back together. So hopefully the bulk of the woodworking is done. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode.